gosh, man, Elite Prospects really needs to add a photo of this guy. Am I able to do that? Oh, I technically am. I'm able to submit a photo of Alexander Zharovsky, but no, I need to have copyright on it. That's something that I unfortunately do not have access to. Yeah, sorry, I personally do not have any photos that I have taken myself of Montreal Canadiens prospect Alexander Zharovsky, but that's not going to stop us from talking about him today, because we have some commentary made by none other than former NHL head coach and current KHL head coach, Bob Hartley, who spoke about the addition of Alexander Zharovsky and just how good it has been for Montreal, how this guy probably compares to this guy, Ivan Demidov. But before we dive into that, let's actually talk about the profile here. Zharovsky, 19 years old, 6'2", 176, a left-handed forward who was drafted by the Canadiens in the 34th overall spot, 2025 NHL Draft last year. Now, we've made our videos about the Zharovsky acquisition over the course of the past 12 months, and essentially, word came around from the draft floor that the Montreal Canadiens were super high on Alexander Zharovsky, and this idea started circulating around that if the Montreal Canadiens kept their 16th and or 17th overall draft picks, they might have even taken Zharovsky with one of these picks had they not traded those away to the Islanders for Noah Dobson. That's how much Montreal valued this guy, and it's why they were super excited to take him in the 34th overall spot. Zharovsky was drafted out of the Russian Junior League. He had 50 points in 45 games played for Totopar Ufa in the MHL, and he only continued producing more as he went into the KHL this previous season as an 18-year-old. 42 points in 59 games played for Salavat Yuleev Ufa, which went out there and literally was in the same category as Ivan Demidov's 49 points in 65 SKA St. Petersburg games. Do the math on this. 49 divided by 65, that's a 0.75 points per game. Alexander Zharovsky, 42 points in 59 games. He was at a 0.71. So, same territory. There was a period at the beginning of the season where Zharovsky was essentially challenging Ivan Demidov for that top-of-the-line point production. But Zharovsky, even though he didn't match Demidov, he still went out there with a really impressive resume to open up his KHL career. And it's why we have former NHL head coach and current Lokomotiv Yaroslavl head coach Bob Hartley, who went out there and praised Montreal Canadiens prospect Zharovsky after getting the KHL Rookie of the Year award. This article, written by Gabriel Sammy, will be linked in the description below. It's on MontrealHockeyFanatics.com, and it dives into how the former Calgary Flames head coach Bob Hartley described Alexander Zharovsky as a gem during his appearance on BPM Sports Talk Radio. That is quite a compliment coming from someone who was in his 5th season as a head coach in the KHL, and Hartley is not speaking out of turn. He had the opportunity to watch Zharovsky play up close during the KHL playoffs, as his team, Lokomotiv, was directly facing Salavat Yuleev Ufa, the club of Zharovsky. Bob Hartley then compared Zharovsky's work ethic to Ivan Demidov's, and this is where things get really interesting. Hartley explained that he sees a similarity between Demidov and Zharovsky when it comes to their work ethic away from the rink. When you consider Demidov's path with the Montreal Canadiens, finishing his rookie season as the NHL's rookie scoring leader, the comparison is certainly flattering. What Hartley likes about Zharovsky is the guy's attitude. He described Zharovsky as a hard-working young player with a strong work ethic away from the rink, and his stats speak for themselves. The Canadiens, there is no doubt they have a gem, Hartley said. Now, that also is a great element of the conversation as well, the fact that Zharovsky won the KHL's Rookie of the Year award, an award that I'm pretty sure Ivan Demidov won last year. I'm only saying that because I think it only seems appropriate. Yeah, okay, he did. Thank goodness, Ivan Demidov did win it last year. 2 Montreal Canadiens guys on this list. No other team has 2 guys represented on this list, I guess. I just gotta scroll through it. New Jersey, Columbus, Edmonton. Yeah, okay. Only Montreal has 2 of their players who had won the KHL's Rookie of the Year award. But the Habs on Reddit guys went out there and posted about it. There's a really nice graphic over here. Salava Yuleyev, Ufa, Sherovski. And they went out there and posted, please come to Montreal next year. Although the Canadiens lack right wings, I still believe he is great trade bait for something they could need, like a solid second-line center. Send the jet to bring this kid over. Draco Malfoy. Yeah, there are a number of ways we can talk about this guy. Man, he really does look like a Slytherin, doesn't he? But Alexander Zharovsky and his work ethic being compared to that of Ivan Demidov's is certainly interesting when you consider a lot of the conversations we had about both of these guys during Zharovsky's Draft +1. While it's true he did produce a lot of points, it was never easy to just go out there and say, well, he's producing like Demidov, so he'll be like Demidov. Demidov was a 5th overall talent. You could even debate he should have gone somewhere in the top 3. And what makes him special is the fact that he has super elite skill, super elite vision. He is a top-of-the-line young player. Alexander Zharovsky, while it's true he has skills to get points, there are things that he does away from the puck that do raise concerns a little bit. He needs to work on his defensive game. He needs to work on how he plays when he doesn't have the puck and when he's not in the offensive zone. He needs to work on his mobility. Part of the reason Ivan Demidov is so effective in the NHL is not just because he's so skilled and he's so smart, but because he is so mobile. He is active. He's not like Lane Hudson, going out there and deking and dangling right by guys, embarrassing them, having them fall. Ivan Demidov is just smart positionally in the way that he uses his edges to protect the puck and to dance around players, not necessarily in a Pavel Datsyuk type of way, but more so in just a straightforward, this is what I need to do to maneuver the puck to safety type of way. Alexander Zharovsky can stand to improve his edge work a little bit more in that respect, and he also could stand to just hone those offensive skills more and more so that as the competition gets more difficult, he is able to capitalize and adapt. He had 2 points in 10 playoff games for Salava Yuleyev Ufa, and I get it, a lot of that was because he didn't play too much. But you think about it, I mean, he was still getting 15, 16 minutes of time on ice per game. He didn't really score that many points. He was neutralized, essentially. Obviously, that's going to happen when you're one of the younger players in the KHL. But Ivan Demidov didn't have that problem last year when he was playing with SKA St. Petersburg. In fact, they relied on him a lot more at the end of the season because they realized that, hey, wait a minute, we're actually at risk of getting eliminated here. It's why Demidov had some 27, 24-minute games, also go into overtime, helps with that as well. But still, Demidov is almost religious when it comes to hockey and the way that he thinks about the game constantly off the ice. He is working on his skills later than everybody else. He is with Lane Hudson talking about the sport. These two guys are hockey nerds, and they adapt and they connect over this type of stuff. So if Alexander Zharovsky exhibits that same sort of obsession with hockey as Ivan Demidov does when they're off the ice, then I think it's really going to bode well for Zharovsky's future as long as he's willing to put in the work on the ice to match that intensity and that drive. This is a really great prospect the Canadiens have. We already made a video earlier in the year where we spoke about the Elliot Friedman comments. He essentially said that Montreal got highway robbery by taking Zharovsky in the second round, a guy who was one of the top junior players in the KHL. It's a really good get. And now you've got Bob Hartley going out there and literally comparing Zharovsky to the work ethic of Ivan Demidov. So another great sign for the Montreal Canadiens. I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about this assessment? Do you think it's an accurate way to look at Zharovsky and his game? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed this video. 9. Congratulations to Zharovsky for winning the KHL's Rookie of the Year, Montreal's very own Slytherin, and bye.